Greetings and welcome. My name is Jake Rayson. I am a wildlife and food forest garden designer. I'm still getting to grips with my my setup, my video setup, but hopefully that's all right. We'll go with this what we've got now. I just wanted to do a little bit about CAD. I've got a course coming out which I'm working on, and it's going to be using CAD for garden design. I'm just doing a little bit of work now. I need to get some designs done for the primary school. I went to see them a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, before Christmas, and there's some features that I want to put in. So I just thought it'd be a nice little thing to do to show you how to use CAD. So what I've got here is I just got to let me just flip over. So there's a bench, a seating area, and the labyrinth. And the bench, I just wanted to show you about creating a block first of all. So blocks are really useful. They're reusable items. You create them once, and then you can use them multiple times in your document, and then when you edit it, you only have to edit the one, and then you can resize it and change the text or whatever it is that you want. So a fantastic use of it is for creating plants. So for example, I have an Aronia Brilliance, which is a small Aronia, and which is a fruiting bush, and I have it set up here as a block, so that if I edit that block, both these instances of that block will change. So it's kind of pretty cool. So if I just edit Aronia Brilliance and call it Aronia Brilliant, and then go out, you can see that it changes in both places. So that's yeah, it's very handy thing to have. And the other really good thing to have is to create a block that you can then rotate and have in different positions. And this is really kind of useful because you create a block as you see it, but then you can, by putting an angle on it, you can fine tune the angle. You don't have to kind of create it perfectly right in the first place. So you've got a bench, which is what I'm going to create, and then you can tweak it, the angles on the block itself. Makes it a lot easier to use. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first thing I'm going to do is to create a rectangle. So if we go into your the shape tools, and then it's a rectangle, I'm going to use a rectangle with size because this is really cool thing to do. So I need a zoom tool up here. The size it's 1.2 meters wide, and it's 0.5 meters deep. It's a bench that I'm creating, and you can see here, and there we go. So that's my bench, and this is the rectangle. So what I'm going to do now is to make that bench, which is here, I'm going to make that into a block. So block, create block. I'm having to use the menus. Create block from selection, and I'd kind of do it from the I'll do it from the center. I'll do it from, yeah, this is the insertion point, so where it's drawn from, and I'm going to call that bench 2. Oh dear, there's already a bench there. This is going to be seating area bench. So bench, seating area. There we go. Now that's a block. And the beautiful thing about this, if you go, you can't really see it from here. My face is in the way. Can I move my face out the way? No, not easily. I'll just get the property editor out here. And then what you can do with the bench is you can create an angle on that bench and say, I want the bench at 45 degrees. It then puts the bench at that angle. So you can then fine tune the angle, but if you double click on it to edit the block, you can see that the block stays the same. It stays the same position. So which is really useful feature if you ever get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, I want to put the bench. So this is the school. Oh, I haven't lined up the photographs. So this is the school. Just have to use your imagination on this one, like so much in design. Oh, good God. Okay, so this is the school here, and what I've got is this triangle of land is the garden, and there's a track running up the side of it, and the bench is going to go here. These round circles, blue circles, are drain covers. So I'm going to grab that bench, and I'm going to put that bench kind of in here. And then I can fine tune the angle, doing the same thing before. I can fine tune that angle, so just try it up 30 degrees. Oh, 60 degrees, something like that. So be something like that. Now this sliding door here, that's the main where the main traffic's going through. So you want to kind of focus everything from that viewpoint. So I want the back of the bench to be to the door, and then it's going to be surrounded with a gabion wall. So that'll do for now. That'll do for now. It's going to get a rough idea of where we want. Maybe a bit more, 70 degrees, something like that. 70 degrees is good. Okay, so that's my bench sorted out. And that's a block. So if you go here, you can see you've got a bench seating area, which is a block as well. So that's really that's nice. Next thing I want to do is to create a circle using the circles. And if we go back to the circle tool, and the easiest thing, there's loads of different options for creating circles. It's quite mind-blowing. CAD is quite incredible. I only ever use one, which is center point, so creating a circle from a center point. And what's really useful is using CAD, I can calculate the kind of approximate size of the features that I want. So there's two things that I want to do. Firstly, I'm going to create a gabion wall around the bench. So I need to know, get an idea of how big that wall needs to be. And oopsie, you can see if you can stretch it out. And I want it to be, obviously the wall needs to be away from the drains as well, and away from the cherry tree. So this is where CAD comes into its own. Rather than being on site and having to be on site with a tape measure, I've taken all the measurements. I know this is fairly accurate, and I know that this is the kind of size circle that will fit that space. And then doing that, you can kind of figure out a design that fits in with the features, and you'll know the sizes, and you'll know how much material that you require as well. So this is where it really comes into its own. Just a very quick thing. If you go to Snap, this is used. I use this an awful lot. Is Snap, because at the moment, if I'm trying to do it, and it's snapping to objects, and it's like I don't want it quite there. I want it over here. So turn the snap off. When you're doing freehand work, turn snap off, and that means I can zoom in, zoom out, make a different size very easily. So it's going to be something like that. And I'll go back to the pointer tool to hit escape to go back to the pointer tool. And then what I'm going to do is move this wall. And you can see, yep, that's good. I can maybe go a little bit bigger. And maybe that's my kind of maximum size. Something like that. Possibly a little bit bigger. Okay. And this is a really nice thing. You can just play around with sizes. Oops. So yep, keep it a bit away from there, and it's in the cherry. So there we go. So this is the circle that will be. There'll be a gabion wall on that circle, which is that'll be the gabion wall around the bench, and I can bring the bench back and say, okay, the bench is going to be around about here. Okay. And then that's how much space I've got as well. So it's fantastic tool. So now this is all just done from a plan view of the ground. I wonder if I've got a map of the. Oh yeah, not a very good map. So this is a plan view of the circle. And if I look at the actual the properties, which you probably can't see because it's behind my face, the diameter is 4 meters. So it's a 4 meter diameter circle, and that's what I'm going to be working to for the gabion wall, which surrounds the it surrounds the bench. So that's the seating area, which is brilliant. So that's fantastic. Oh, and I'll show you very quickly as well. The other really cool feature is offset. So if you have a selection tools, modification tools, bottom left, if you click on there, and then I never use the menus. I use the shortcuts now, so I actually kind of find it quite hard to find out. Offset with distance, and I think they're going to be about 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters wide. So distance is 0.5, and the number is 1, and I can just, there we go. And then obviously what I will do is I'll cut that circle to provide, it'll be like a semicircle, and I'll cut that circle, but you can see the width of the wall there as well. So there we go. Okay, so that's like the bench sitting inside a circle. Whee! And that's my gabion wall, and that's all very funky and groovy. So I'll work on that more later. The last thing that I'm going to do is, that's the offset tool, which is brilliant. The last thing I'm going to do is to show you the Labyrinth. Now, oh, that is amazing. There's just like so much amazing stuff. Labyrinth sizes, Labyrinth Society. And if yeah, this is yeah, it's brilliant. There's just like all these resources on here. Labyrinths do have a very kind of, I didn't know much about them. They have a kind of, there are lots of, they're used in religious contexts. I'm a screaming atheist, so that doesn't really, that aspect of it doesn't really appeal to me. But there is a mindfulness side to it as well, and I think this is kind of really very interesting. So using a labyrinth in a school is a very, very good idea. And there's there's a whole load of stuff going on here about making a labyrinth, and there are different designs and different ideas and everything. So yeah, I think it's just going to be absolutely, yeah, it's going to be great. And just to let you know as well, the basic idea behind a labyrinth is that you walk the labyrinth in places. There's only a picture. I just want a picture of a labyrinth. You walk the labyrinth, and it's just one path to the end point. But it's the actual journey that's important. It's not about finding the way, it's about walking the way. So very, very interesting. There we go. So what I wanted to do then, we'll see, where was I? Yeah, create a labyrinth. So I'll just go to QCAD, create a labyrinth. It's a structure, it's my layers, it's a structure. Go back to the circles, create a circle from the center. And this is the space. Now I've actually got a couple of trees on there that I'm going to remove. I want to replant them. It's somewhere else on the school grounds. There's a beech, and there's another tree that I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'll get rid of those on the diagram. But there's a beech, a silver birch, and another tree. So that gives me this space here to draw a labyrinth, and there's a drain just around about here. So I'll just start off roughly, same kind of thing. I'll just draw a circle and go, there's a willow structure, so I can't really have that there. Let's turn snap into free so it doesn't snap to anything, and oops, can't go that much, about that much. And I'm not that fussed about it going onto the path, because what I want to do with the path is to make it an area of recycled. I want to make it an area with flowers, low growing wildflowers on, but using recycled building materials, kind of low nutrient growing medium. And then to have it kind of somehow mark it so that it is a track, for, this is the access track for a tractor to go around and cut the grass on the fields. So I think it's quite interesting when you have shapes spilling out onto a track, and how you define that, and how it kind of interrupts the view, and you can key into that. You can actually bring that shape into that space. So that's like quite interesting. So the actual size for this one, then, it's going to be about that big. Could be a little bit bigger. I can go up. Don't really want to go that much bigger. I think that's good. That's good. I know below structure. Don't want to be too far there. So that's the kind of maximum size. So that's good. Which is 6 meters. So then I can work out using from the design. It's a 6 meter diameter, which isn't it's not a very big labyrinth, and then work out the design to fit that labyrinth. So that's good. So there we go. That's using the circle tool, creating a block, and using the offset tool, and adding them to my design, getting the design kick started. And then what's so fascinating then is that you can see, you start to put the plants in. I've got a list of plants that I want to use, but then you start to put the plants in around the other features. So we've got a seating area, existing trees, a willow sculpture, and a labyrinth. Oh, that's what I will do as well. I will, very handily, I'll create that into a block. So block, create block from selection, do it from the reference point, and then call it Labyrinth. And then if I edit that, double click on it and edit, I'll use a text tool, Labyrinth. Okay, there we go, and then exit. There we go. So now we've got like a labyrinth here, and then the labyrinth. The nice thing is I can just move it around without having to worry about picking up the text with it as well. That's another good reason to use a block. There we go. So I hope that's useful. If there are a couple of things I just want to point you in the direction of, there's the QCAD is the place where is the software that I use. I paid for a professional license. The kind of free version, the community edition, you download a trial, disable the trial, you've got the community edition. It's absolutely fine for doing CAD gardening work. It's perfectly powerful enough and has all the features that you require. So totally recommend it. There is a book you can download as well, which costs some money, and there's a very good user reference as well. And if you do a search for YouTube QCAD, you will find lots and lots of tutorials online there. And as I say, I'm creating a CAD tutorial as well, a CAD class of my own. There we go. Hope that's all very useful, and see you again. See you again soon. Cheers, bye.